Good evening, ladies and gents. How you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, also known as Mag. Welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. We are broadcasting. Bondi timed that perfectly. Bondi, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. That's now 39 months. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Can we get a shout out for Bondi? We are broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. So let's say hello to everyone who's here. Gozzo was the first one here. Nice and early. 8:45 over on Twitch. Dan Game Tank, good evening. How you doing? Great to see you. Using some of the new emotes from last week as well. Great to see. Danka over on YouTube. How you doing? Retro Jazar on YouTube. How you doing? Games Guru says, evening all. Looking forward to this one. # forward to format. Flame. I saw my guest do a woo like that. So in the background, so we'll see that. Flame, good evening. How you doing? Games Guru saying, I hope everyone is well and enjoying their Tuesday. UK Gaming Network over on YouTube said, broke off from playing Ninja Gaiden 4 to be here. Good, because we're going to be talking about that later on. Great to see you, Bondi. Thank you so much for that sub. Greatly appreciate it. Whoop whoop, sup hype. Dan says, all good here, mate. Last week was a great night. It was a great night on the show. We hit a new record. We hit a level 7 hype train ever. So much so that the show nearly went on to 10 till midnight. So I greatly appreciate it. Whether we'll hit a level 8, that's the next record to hit. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure we could keep our guests or Dave here till that long, but we'll see. Sticky Knievel, evening Mags. Hello, how you doing? Great to see you. Hello. Ryan. Hello, mate. Great to see you as well. Long time no see. Good to see. Good to see you all on both channels. Great to have you here. Got a jam-packed show with lots going on. So he couldn't make it last week because he had lots going on. So please welcome back. And he's just texted me saying, thank God I did miss last week because he would have been absolutely knackered. iQuell, also, thank you for your 5-stream streak, for watching 5 streams in a row. You've just been rewarded 450 Mojo Bites, which you can spend on tomorrow night's show when we are actually playing Ninja Gaiden 4. So let's bring him in. Everyone missed him last week, but he's back with a vengeance. He's the co-host who knows the most. It's Mr. David Jones. Hello, sir.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, thank you. How's everyone in chat? Hope you're all doing well.
All good. Kindred, good evening, Kindred says, Dave would have fucked off after the level 2. He probably would. He would have gone,
yeah,
5 past 11. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, it's all right. Bang on 11.
Leave me to earn the money. And then so there you go. Well, it's gone in the Dave and Mag part anyway. So for the Tuesday, so it was greatly appreciated. It was insane. It was about 50 quid's worth of subs, which was nice.
Fantastic.
There you go. There you go. Everyone's doing good, but great to have you here. What have you been playing over the last 2 weeks? Because obviously we haven't seen you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I tried a little bit of Keeper over the weekend, but we'll talk about that later. So I'll come back to that there. Then it was Steam Next Fest last week. Yeah. I only got around to trying one demo. I just tried out the demo for Reanimal, which is which is what Tarsia Studio made. They did the original Little Nightmares 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try the demo out for that, and I really liked it. Feels very much like the Little Nightmares games, but yeah, it's got good atmosphere to it, good music, very, very creepy. So yeah, good atmosphere. So only a little short demo. You didn't get to see too much, but what was there, definitely, kept the vibe going. So looking forward to seeing the full release of that. But then what I've been mostly playing is Battlefield 6. Been pretty solid on the multiplayer since that came out. Tried a little bit of the campaign, which is just okay. But you don't buy Battlefield for the campaign. It's just there. It's a bit of filler, really, just to justify the 70 quid price tag. The multiplayer is good, and it's actually nice to have a Battlefield game that doesn't implode at launch like pretty much every previous one has done in the past. This one actually launched in a damn good state. A few little bugs here and there, nothing too major though. But generally, I'm having a great time playing it, and I'm going to carry on playing it for a good long while. Fantastic little game.
Okay, well, I think we said this on last week's show. We think this might kick COD's ass this year. I think when
it's
the new
possible,
COD comes
isn't it? Yeah, but people are probably getting a little bit fed up of COD, especially since it's a bit more like now all the skins going into it. That's going to be turning a few people off.
Yeah, the whole bringing the Predator thing back, but you can't. You can only have it for a month. I thought. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what I've been playing because I've been a mixture of stuff. Funnily enough, obviously we streamed Keeper last night, which we'll be talking about.
Yep.
We streamed Little Nightmares 3. We also talked about on the show last week. Didn't get a great score. I did complete it. I think it didn't deserve the score that it got last week, but it's certainly probably the weakest out of the 3. And therefore, I deliberately didn't play the Reanimal demo because I played the Little Nightmares 3 demo a year ago. So I was kind of like, I think Reanimal is going to be better. So it's good. I certainly wouldn't say it's worth 35 quid. I also think the other thing that annoyed me is when we did it is it's only 4 levels. And to unlock 2 other levels, it's another 12 quid.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that, and I was a bit like, I have issues with this because if it was levels that meant you wouldn't finish the game properly and had to pay to play to end it, but it does end properly. But I don't know how these other 2 levels come in. It might be it's just 2 of levels, but I was a bit like, seriously, why don't you just put them in and have 6 levels instead of having 4? I just felt that soured it a bit, but it's
like
okay.
It's one for a sale.
Yeah,
wait a bit.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to get it and play it co-op because I know it's got a friend pass to it, which might be quite a fun way to.
Well, we could do that. Could do that through my copy. So there you go. If you don't want to bother buying it, you could do it with me and play it with me. And I'll go through it again.
Means I got to play with you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, fuck that. Then
Can't take the bad with the good.
There you go. Let's see who else is here. I'm going to say there's another game. Also, nearly finished Shinobi. I've nearly 100%ed the whole game. I've even unlocked all the secret difficult tasks to get the special katana, which makes the final boss easier. I've just got 2 more items to get. Then I'm going to retackle that. So by next week, hopefully, that's that done and dusted as well. But I'm loving Shinobi. It's really, really good. UK Gaming Network says, welcome back, Dave. Phantom, good evening. Mr. Jamie Gaving, welcome in. Dank said, oh, yes, Reanimal does look to be beating Little Nightmares 3, but we'll see. We've got to wait until next year. Our guest next week, Fleabag, good evening. How you doing? Kindred says, I'm only playing COD as it's free on Game Pass. Ultimate. If you got the other Game Passes, you're fucked because they've removed it from there, as we discussed 2 weeks ago, which is really cheeky. Trying to pin sleeves on a tunic top because bell sleeves are bloody long, as you do. Our guest from a couple of weeks. Happy Tuesday, Legends. How you doing? It's HUK. Hello. Good evening, people. Welcome in. Great to see you. Dave Johnson, good evening. Can we give Dave Johnson a shout out? He's our community member of the month. So he gets a shout out on every show. Without further ado, enough of talking games, because some of them we've played, we're talking about tonight, and some other people are playing, we're going to be talking about tonight. But let's get our guest in. We have a huge event next week. Huge event. In fact, I will go as far as to say he will say that it's the UK's #1 nightlife and gaming event. I'm going to say it's the world's biggest gaming and nightlife event, hitting Liverpool for 3 nights with an industry day, the main event, and the after party. He was here last year on the show. Dave's calling me a creep. Fuck you, Dave. Just because you can't go. It's just jealousy. Last time he was here, rocked up in his Jordans with his expensive piano, but this time he's in a hidden location. Please give it up, the CEO of Format, it's Simran!
Oh, it was the piano and the Yorkshire accent last time, I remember. I'm curious to see what the chat thinks my accent sounds like a year later now, especially now that I'm in the trenches with the Yorkshire people every single day.
Yeah, because you've moved again, haven't you? Since
I've moved again. I'm actually closer towards Yorkshire now, so I'm actually closer towards the field. So I'm curious to hear if you hear all the abbreviations of O and R now as well.
We'll look out for
it. Dave Johnson says his accent sounds like he comes from the Isle of Man.
Well, that's a new one, but I don't know what people from the Isle of Man sound like, Dave, because I've never actually been to the Isle of Man. I don't think I've ever met anyone from the Isle of Man. So
I don't think I have. I don't think
I'm aware. No, I tell you, one of our exhibitors was from the Isle of Man, but he was originally from London, so he had a London accent, so it doesn't count really.
No, it doesn't.
What does an Isle of Man sound? I know it said soundtrack then. Can you tell me?
The Isle of Man soundtrack.
The Isle of Man soundtrack. That's probably some Celtish Irish music, to be fair, let's be honest.
It could be. Yeah. It's totally random. We'll have to see.
What does an Isle of Man accent sound like? Hello.
If anybody knows, if anybody knows, please tell us. Jesse, good evening. Jesse's here. Evening all. Yorkshire, apparently, says Ems. Hello, Ems, by the way. This is the other Ems. Other M says Simran sounds more Yorkshire every time I hear him. So there you go. That's
yeah. There you go. The validation my fiance wants to hear. There we go.
The Isle of Man soundtrack is the Isle of Man TT. Good shout, Phantom. It's just motorbikes. Yeah. Big Jesse says, yeah, they mostly sound like meow. Not wrong with accent, says Fleabag.
Not wrong with it. Not wrong with it. It isn't tin, I said. And no, it isn't tin. No, it isn't tin, she said. No, it isn't tin. There you go. That's the latest Yorkshire meme going around. I said it's in tin, isn't it? No, it isn't tin. It isn't tin. And the worst bit is I understand it. I actually get what they're trying to say. That's how I know I've been converted.
The worst bit is you do it going from that to coming to Liverpool, where you do don't today. So that. So you've gone from that to that.
I've been told I've got a weird hybrid of a Yorkshire accent mixed with a posh northerner, but I'm not posh. I'm the furthest thing from posh that you'll meet. Like, you're talking to a man whose chip tea tonight was good old sausage chips and a bit of Nando's mild sauce poured on. So I'm the opposite of posh, my friend. But I've been told that's what my accent sounds like.
There you go. Now Simran is offending my fellow Yorkshireman. Shush, Dave. Big Jesse says, have you given up playing the piano? Because I was like, whoa. Where's the piano? This is a disgrace. I say we riot. Tin isn't in the tin. Well, where did you put it then?
In the tin.
Just have a show of this. So tonight, we're going to be talking about dialects. We're going to fuck the games off. Can we bring in some wolves with our kid? We'll show him around. We'll get him down here.
I remember that first day in pit. Me and my father worked a 72-hour shift. We walked at moors until our day. I tell you, kid. I tell you. The Mancunian came through then, our kid. That came through. See, I'm not fully Yorkshire convert yet.
Yeah. It's giving League of Gentlemen vibes, says M.
Well, my missus is from Huddersfield, so that technically is West Yorkshire, isn't it? So technically, it is not. Yeah, I have got more of the West Yorkshire twang. I've got a Mancunian and a Huddersfield accent merged into one. Hi, Gilby.
Eric Gilfire, every time you're on the show, you're going to have a different accent. Well, just that's going to be a thing now.
I think we should do that at an annual thing, see what I come back with every single year.
Yeah.
I mean, I am half Indian, so I could come back with an Indian accent and have it not be offensive, and I can do a damn good offense. I never said a damn.
What are you saying? Damn good offense.
I can do also a very good Indian accent, and I'm allowed to do it. I get a free pass on it because of my heritage.
Oh my god! M says, yeah, it's right on the border between the two. Says M. So you're very close. You're very close.
Very close indeed.
Now, the reason we got you here, it's not because we want to talk about dialects, is because you've got your huge event again, returning back to Liverpool next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What we're going to talk about bits of it during the show, but where should we start? Should we start at the beginning? Shall we?
Where do you want to start, Mags? What are you most excited to see at Format? What is it you want me to start with? Come on, as an exhibitor and an attendee, what are you looking?
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to the main day. So should we run the trailer for the main day, and then we'll show you the lineup?
Let's run the trailer and the lineup, and I can tell you my thought process behind this whole thing.
All right, let's do this then. Here comes the trailer for Format Liverpool for 2025. Come check this out. Here we go.
Like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made a splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. Keep it coming like this is buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the graves. Never gon' fumble it. I get the bag and I run with it, gunning it. Worry with the legs, all about finesse. I ain't not impressed. I need a rest coming in with blast, then you see the flash. Elohim with the melody, and then he supply the breath. 70, keep it heavenly, everybody get the bread.
You win. There you go. So that is the promo for this year's Format taking place at Liverpool in Camp and Furnace Thursday next week. Let's bring up the running order. If I can do this. Hang on. Let's just do this. Here we go. And it is here. I want that one. There you go. By the way, Laura is hiding. Thank you so much for the follow. I forgot to say that. DJ Nathy B, hello.
Hey,
how you doing?
Make your follow. One of our acts who is going to be featured right now.
Yeah, one of our acts. Hang on, which will feature if I play the right flipping trailer. Here we go. Where's that gone?
Nathy B's in that video as well, so it's fine. Either one works for him.
Here we go. Well, hang on. Let's go for format poster video final.
Biggest games industry. Nightlife them. Europe's biggest games industry. Nightlife them.
There you go. Dragon MCYT. Hello, everyone. Another. How you doing? Great to see you. So, oh, this is next week. I'm so psyched for this, says M. Gutted I'm missing it. Mag broke my foot just so I couldn't go.
Oh, do you know what, Dave? I just think you're coming up with an excuse now. You just don't want to come because you just want to miss the biggest Format GG in 9 years. And I think you want to do it just so you don't have to see Mags. I think that's what it is. I think that's why he's doing it. Do you agree, chat? Do you think that's why Dave has broke his foot? Sorry, Mags has broke his foot.
I think, well, yeah, I haven't broken his foot, but whatever he says.
That's plausible.
Yeah. But there you go. Here we go. Counting down, says DJ Nathy. Got a shout out to go to work. Bondi, latest all. Cheers, Bondi. He's been called out on an emergency. They reckon it's a true story that I broke his foot, but you know.
I've seen Mags's. I nearly said your government name then for a moment. It's because it's on his exhibitor form. I've got his government name.
Yeah, he's got my government details.
Yeah. No, I've seen your violent street, Paul. I've seen how you go with that. Yeah. I've seen it. I believe that you've broke the foot as well. I don't know. I don't know who to believe here. It's
interesting. I mean, I could back up my claims, or I could just say no fucks given, which is probably the real truth. So
exactly. Let's go.
There you go. So tell us, what have you got for us next Thursday in terms of acts and everything we've got going on?
You lot ruined my life last year because I hosted the biggest ever edition of a gaming nightlife that's ever existed in the human race. And then I thought, I'm going to take it a bit easy in 2025. I've done it now. I've done my big expansion to Liverpool. I've done it. But y'all kept telling me you wanted it again. So I thought, you know what? If I'm going to have to do it again, I got to run it back even bigger. I got to go more. I got to go harder. I can't do myself a disservice. So I decided not only was I going to get more music acts, not only was I going to get more hosts, not only was I going to get a bigger esports zone, not only was I going to get more exhibitors than I already had last year, I was even going to get a bigger VIP streamer lounge. And I even decided to get a ball pit. There is a ball pit.
I didn't know that.
And it's not the Furcon ball pit where someone weeding it. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. This is going to be a cool ball pit. And that's going in the content creation zone. And that's another thing. We've even got a dedicated content creation zone this time.
Yeah.
We've got that for you as well. And I've got so much for you all this year. So I decided to go hard. And that's why I'm sad to report I have found a grey hair this year, not because I've turned 30, but because of this event. So, but I did it all for you all because I want to host you the biggest event ever. And I think that lineup of acts shows it you because there's two right at the top that I think just highlight the whole evening for me personally.
I think that's the Dubtendo All-Stars is going to be something special.
Well, we just accepted the collaborator post on Instagram with them tonight, and they've give you all a sneak peek of what they're bringing next Thursday. I'm not going to lie. Asking me to choose who I'm more excited between the Nerd Violinist and Dubtendo is certainly a choice I cannot make because
Lucia is something amazing. If anyone was at Format last year, she is amazing. The Nerd Violinist.
We have decided some of the performers might be overlapping a bit with each other. They've decided to form their own little community together, and you might see little sneak appearances from the Nerd Violinist in other people's performances.
Interesting.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. I'm also going to give a shout out because she's awesome. Is the amazing Emzy from the Just Answer crew because they're putting together a whole. It's something completely different they're doing, and they've never done any other event. So Simran's got obviously we have Emzy at our event. But this is really cool because they're actually doing like a 40-minute performance with other Just Dancers, which is so cool.
It's going to be amazing. I can walk you through all the acts. Obviously, we've got Dubtendo. And to anyone who doesn't know what Dubtendo is, basically, I want you to imagine the ultimate Mario tribute DJ act. These guys, look them up if you haven't already heard of them. If you haven't heard of them, you've been living under a rock. These guys bring the full shebang. We're talking Mario cosplayers that will jump into the crowd with you. They have everything. They have inflatable mushrooms that they bring on with them. Then we've got the nerd violinist, my good friend Lucella, who is just extraordinary. I'm not even going to give her any more praise than that because I'm just going to let us whip y'all with what she's got planned. Broken English, which is an amazing Afrobeats twin duo, by the way. Mm-hmm. So if you do think that you've seen double, you are not wrong because they are twins. And they are identical twins. It is very eerie how identical they are. And then we've got Kingston from Manchester, who's another rap Afrobeats artist who's going to be bringing more. I've got Charlie Roxburgh, who's a content creator, indie rock band artist, and he's bringing a whole band performance with him. We're talking saxophonists, drummers, guitarists, the whole shebang. I've got the Techno Spartans, who are bringing a full K-pop dance performance. And yes, K-pop Demon Hunter.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Because I watched it 2 weekends ago, and I demanded that they do it. I cannot get Golden out of my head since I started listening to that. And as you point out, Emzy with the Just Dancers is bringing a whole Just Dance performance of 45 minutes just to entertain you all. And I'm not even done yet. This is just the performances. This isn't even the exhibitors. And then we've got an amazing just epiphany of DJs. Look at them all. Look at them all.
One of them is in chat right now, which is awesome. Hello, Nathan.
And we've got DJ Basher, who is a renowned Manchester DJ who performs some of the best. He sells out stadiums, AO Arena, Stormzy, Itch, you name it. This man has done sets for some of the biggest there are. He's our headline DJ, along with a bunch of people that you know. And we've actually got free hosts, free presenters for this event. We have the amazing Josh Strife Hayes returning. We have Rakaya B, who was a performer last year, and she's bringing back as a host time. And we have the amazing content creator, Up Is Not Jump, for anyone who has heard of him. And he will be joining us throughout stages. And I'm not making any promise, but Josh Hayes and Rakaya B are dressing up for this event. And
I've heard rumours. I'm not going to spoil it.
And I'm not going to spoil what they are dressing up as, but I think the audience will love their little duo that they've got planned. And that's just performances.
That's amazing. I'm gonna jump through chat because there's a few things. We'll talk about exhibitors and stuff in a bit more. I'm going to quickly just knock this off the screen. Here we go. But I want to say hello to a few people. So where we go. Where we got Tuning Killers Garzo says, just tuning in. Have a good night, lads. Appreciate it. Laura's Hiding, who followed earlier, says, evening. I'll be coming down for Format. Very excited. Hello. UK Gaming X says, I'll be working at 6 a.m. the Friday morning, so I'll be in bed by 9. Flipping heck. Go big or go home for this year. Big time. We might lose Mag in the ball pit. It's highly likely. There is a ball pit. Damn it. I honestly didn't think this could get any bigger from last year, but I'm so psyched. Dragon, let's go. Danker says, right, who's going balls deep?
Hey,
let's fucking go.
That comment wins. That's the comment winner.
It is. It's the comment of the night. I'm more excited for Dan Game Tank, one of Simran's biggest guests. I mean, he's in the chat, but he'll be there. Professor Stork, good evening. Says, look at these cutie pies. How you doing, lovely? Hannah says, are you dancing, Mag? Maybe.
Like me.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But I am going to say, because this is no secret, that we have got some of the Just Dancers on our timeless stand. So there's likely to be dances on our stand. So there you go. The hype is certainly building. What else we got? Not long now, peeps. Mushrooms on a work night sounds like a bad idea, even if you are Super Mario. Streamer Elite, thank you for the follow. Streamer says, what's up, fellas? Coming from Ireland to spend the best night in the calendar with good people. Awesome.
Oh, my friend. Well, you are joining a whole array of people flying over, and we look forward to welcoming our Irish friends to Liverpool.
There we go. Jesse says, can you not be representing Timeless while you are dancing, please?
Mate, I tell you what, Paul, I'll make a promise with you. I'll go on the dance floor with you for the Just Dance performance. You and me, we have to do a duo dance performance. Yeah, I get to be Patrick Swayze and you can be the other one.
I can do that. I can put a dress on. I'll be fine. You got to lift me up. You could lift me up, couldn't you?
You raise me up. It's going to be all that. Let's go for it.
Anyway, we'll be talking more Format. Great to have you here. Or please, someone video that. It'll happen. Don't worry. we'll be talking more format later on. But shall we crack on with tonight's show, ladies and gents?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's get to it,
Let's
mate.
do this. This is our 239th show. We've got 8 new games that we're talking about, including Pokemon Legends Zeta A, Keeper, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Vampire the Masquerades Bloodlines 2. God, that's a mouthful. Plus, we're going to be talking about the latest gaming news from the last 7 days or so. So let's crack on with our first game tonight, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And this is NASCAR 25.
Got a great car, great team. Go execute.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day, being Victor Lane.
The after-jets are don't count out anybody. Who wants us the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be.
Next flag is going to hit.
Does he have enough? Let's go. A dominant performance.
They're going to say no, baby. Let's go. You got to earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
There you go. So that is the new NASCAR 25. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one, please.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years since the previous NASCAR release. This one's coming from a different studio, I believe. It's coming from the iRacing studio. So this is going for proper sim racing now instead of arcade racing like the older ones had. So this is probably a bit more for the enthusiast market now. Got their racing cockpit seats to hoe and their steering wheel pedal setup, raring to go. Looks pretty good from what I can see in the trailer. It's built in Unreal Engine 5, so it's going to be pushing some pretty decent graphics on there, especially on PC. And since it's the official game, it's got like all the races, all the teams, all the cars, all the stuff, everything that could be licensed is going to be in there for you to get stuck into. Looks like it should be pretty decent if you're a racing fan.
There you go. Danka says it's interesting. I saw a date for a Steam, which is unusual. It's PC coming later. Possibly, I don't know. I've already been offered keys for this like 2 weeks ago, so it must be working on PC because they sent me Steam keys, which I'm probably not going to do anything with. I'm not going to lie. It depends whether I can fit it in next month. So the art of turning left at speed, indeed. It's like Daytona, but with all the fun removed. I feel like racing fans have been fed well with games this year. I think they have. There's been some good ones.
Some good ones, yeah.
Yeah. Simran, your thoughts on this? Would you give NASCAR 25 a go?
I'm not a racing game enthusiast. Like for me, racing games, if I go to an arcade or I go to an event and there's a racing game, I like them enough to like interact with them, but it's not something I would spend my money on personally. I'm not that much of a, I like cars, but I'm not enough of a car enthusiast to go, oh, look at the leather details on that handle stick. Oh, look at the way the wheel turns. Like, yes, mate. Nah. It's not for me. Sorry. So I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it. It looks all right. Like if you're a car enthusiast and you like car games, it looks decent. It's not something I would personally play though.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So we don't technically review the games on this show. For all the new people that have never seen the show, so for Laura, Nafi, Streamer Elite, and all the other people that are in, I scour the internet and check out all the reviews, whether it be from IGN, GameSpot, Metacritic, Eurogamer, GamerRanks, to name a few. Get their scores, crush them all together, and turn it into an average score. Now, you may agree with it, you may not, but if you guess it correctly in the chat, and also Dave, my co-host, and Simran get to have a guess, you will get a shout out in the chat. So we want to start seeing scores. Here we go. So we got a couple already. Brian says racing games are my forte. 7 new ones between now and the end of November, though. Damn. Danka says I'm going with a safe 7 for this one. Brian saying a 7.5. Going slightly higher. Trini Killers. Good to see you, mate. 6 for this one. Gozzo 7. Dave, I'm going to start with you. What do you reckon this has got?
I'll try 7.5.
Going for a 7.5. Retro Jazar on YouTube saying 7. Phantom 7. Hannah 6.5. M saying 7. Flame 7.5. I can see a theme here bouncing around. C4 and Haggis, how you doing? He says, no idea. Didn't see the trailer, but I'll give it an 8. iQuail 6.5. M's 7.5. Jesse saying 5. That's the lowest one we've had so far. Simran, what do you reckon to this one, my friend?
I was a 7.5 before the trendsetters joined the chat and started saying it didn't break that 8 for me, but it wasn't quite below a 7. So I'm going to play a safe bet and say 7.5.
Okay, going for a 7.5. All right, folks, last chance. This is NASCAR 25, which came out last Tuesday on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. It's either now on PC or it's coming to PC. I don't know, but I've got a code for it. And if there are no more guesses in chat, I can tell you that the safe bet was close for a lot of people, but there's a lot of people who also get it because it was a safe 7 out of 10 for NASCAR 25. So it's definitely decent, but do go check it out. So 7 out of 10 for that one. Congratulations to all the following people. Obviously, M got it right. Well done. Phantom got it right. Retro Shazar, Gozzo, Danker as well. So 2 people over on YouTube and a handful on Twitch. So there you go. Thank you so much. You'll be getting shout outs in your channels and chats right now. So I was like, damn it. That's a lot to talk about. Moving swiftly on, I take this game very seriously now. Oh, see. Just says I love a racing game. Just don't see anything interesting about that one. There you go. Well, moving swiftly on to something very different and actually could be tied in a bizarre way to Format. This came out last Wednesday on Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2 and PC. And obviously, Simran's just announced that he's got a ball pit. And this is Ball Times Pit. Let's have a look at the trailer for this.
Descend into a fast-paced fantasy roguelike that plunges treasure seekers into a bottomless abyss teeming with monstrous hordes to be obliterated as you wield over 50 unique balls in devastating combinations. Wait, did that say 50? That's wrong. 60. Over 60 unique balls. Trust me, I know. I've found them all. You see, while any 2 balls can be fused together for an additive combination of their powers and effects, certain pairs can be evolved together, becoming a completely new ball with its own unique powers and effects and tactical applications. And this new ball can also be fused to another ball or possibly evolved again into a newer new ball with its own newer new powers and effects and applications and the ability to be fused or maybe even evolved again. It just keeps going. But there's more to Ball Pit than battle. Rebuild Balbalon with over 70 buildings. That's so many buildings, and they all do something, either yielding resources or providing upgrades or unlocking new characters. Over a dozen heroes with game-changing playstyles, and they're all great. They're the only friends I have left except for Kenny. Kenny Son and Friends made this game, and I simply have to count as one of those friends by now. I've been playing this game all through its development, and it's only gotten bigger and better and ballier, and I'd live in New Balbalon if I could. The sound effects are so incredibly satisfying, and everything looks so squeezable. I know the game is done or whatever, but I need more. So I need you to buy Ball Pit so it makes a bajillion, so Kenny has to make more Ball Pit. So more people buy Ball Pit so Kenny makes more Ball Pit. So buy Ball Pit. Available now.
PlayStation. There you go. This is also available on Game Pass as of last Wednesday. And quite a few people in chat have already been playing it, which is fantastic. So, Dave, tell us a little bit more about all these balls.
Yeah, lots of balls flying in here, then everywhere. You have to watch out they don't hit you in the face, mate. This is gives a few vibes of the sort of classic block breaker Arkanoid games right way back when. It feels like it's mixing those with some bullet hell, and then a bit of base building's been thrown in as well, because in between runs you'll unlock new buildings to try and rebuild this town that's been destroyed. And it's a roguelike game, so you've got to go down and try and destroy all these creatures coming down at you. As it says, there's like 60 different types of balls you can combine. And I think you got to use those in your builds, and in between the runs, you're unlocking like new buildings, rebuilding the city. It will unlock new characters for you, so they have different sort of skills you can use as well. So there's lots of different sort of combinations you can put in to get the best sort of build and try and get through this, maximize your run, get the best score, etc. So I think it's also got a bit of the sort of vibe that you get from like Vampire Survivors. That was still massively popular since that came out. People just love going back into that, just trying to just obliterate all the enemies in like the simplest way possible with the best build I can come up with. I think this has got a lot of that to it. Whether the base building will appeal to that, to everyone who just like getting into the action, I have to see. But from what I've been reading about it, it sounds like it's a pretty decent game. Graphic wise, it ain't anything to write home about. But that's not what it's going for, really. I mean, Vampire Survivors didn't need particularly good graphics at all, did it? And that has done supremely well. So I think this, with its retro visuals, will do well as the same as that. It definitely helps us on Game Pass. Take more people to jump in and give it a go.
Yeah. I quite see. We've got different people. I mean, Jesse said there's just enough building and stuff to break up the levels, but it's not too involved to take away from the runs. I quite said I tried this on Game Pass. I bounced off it when I had to start doing the building stuff.
Yeah, that won't be for everyone, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, iQuell does ask, is the ball pit in the Creator Lounge or in the main event, by the way?
It's in the main event, and it's going to be located in the Streamseed content creation zone. So you have the lovely folks at Streamseed to thank for bringing the ball pit. They didn't even ask for my approval to bring a ball pit. They just said that they were bringing one. So I'm like, oh, fair play. There's a ball pit. I'm also quite concerned at how much excitement there is for this ball pit in the chat. I've gone all this effort to get you all these great exhibitors, and yet a ball pit is what 2025 going to be remembered for.
No one's going to give a shit about the exhibitors or the amazing acts on stage now. It's all about this fucking ball pit. But
yeah,
never mind.
You got to top it next year with swings and slides. Nice.
Well, it's our 10th anniversary next year, so I've really got to go over
okay, yeah.
All right, let's see what people are saying. Simran, what are your thoughts on this one before we start getting scores?
I mean, whoever made that trailer certainly didn't drop the ball when they were making it. I mean, that thing is that's an amazing game trailer. That had me hooked. Like, that is how they cooked. That I'm grinning because that is a good trailer. I watch game trailers all the time, and that is a good trailer. I love it. I love the self-awareness. It's why I like the Outer Worlds trailers as well. I like that self-awareness of games that mock themselves whilst they're going along for it, and it's just that awareness of make sure you support the game because he needs to buy more games so he can make more balls. I love that sort of stuff, and to me it looks good. Like, I like the gameplay. It looks fast-paced. It looks enjoyable. It knows what it is. I like base building. I find base building actually quite therapeutic. It does seem like a bit of a weird mashup comparing the fast-paced gameplay to base building, but I think it could work. Depending, I need to understand more about how the game mechanics work and how it flows within the flow of the game design. But I'd buy that. I'd play it.
Yeah. I'm actually very tempted to play it, and if I've got space left, I will try and chuck it into November's schedule. But I can't guarantee because I don't know what else is being chucked at me, let alone any balls. Let's see what scores. Chat, get your scores in. Danka is saying an 8.5 for this one, so we're going high. Brian, also on YouTube, saying the same thing, 8.5. M says, I was going to rate this low, but if Jesse says it's good, I'm going for a high 9 on this one. Gozzo, 8.5. Retro Jazar, 8. So chat, get your scores in now. Simran, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I think that is a strong 8. It's a good 8 to me, that. Really, really. Got solid gameplay, knows its art style, knows where it's going, smooth gameplay design. I like it, giving it a strong 8.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people that agree with you. Fleabag saying an 8. Laura saying an 8. Flame saying an 8. Jesse, 9. Ems, 8. Hannah, 8. Phantom, 8. Dragon, 8. Dave, what say you?
I'm feeling the pull of the 8 crowd. I think I'll join in with that.
Yeah, going for the 8. All right. Last chance, folks. This is Ball and Pit, which came out last Wednesday on Xbox Series X and S and Switch 2, PC and PlayStation. I fucking hope it's not an 8, says Jesse. Well, there's going to be a lot of shout-outs. DJ Mike saying a 7.5. iQuail is now jumped over to YouTube saying 6.5. I can tell you that this got an 8.5. 8.5. So very, very good.
Close.
Yeah, very close, Dave. Very close. So Jesse's like, thank God for that. Because you ain't got to do all the shout-outs for all the people said 8 now. So 8.5 there. Let's see who did get that right. Let's go up. And we are looking at Gozzo. Brian at UK Gaming Network. And Danka. So just 3 of you there in the chat. 2 of which are on YouTube. So there you go. Nicely done. Any other shout-outs we need to do? I haven't missed anyone, have I? I think we got everyone. There you go. All good. Well, let's move on to some gaming news and something, funny enough, a game that we're going to be talking about very shortly. And I know there's a few people who are excited for it. But let's talk Pokemon. So before we start talking the brand new Pokemon game, next year is going to be the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. And there are lots of things that are more than likely to be announced. However, some of them got leaked because there was a huge data leak because some hackers decided we can't be asked to wait till next year. Let's hack all the details and get some information what is going on for the next 5 years. We're not going to completely spoil the information. If you want to find out, you can go find out yourself. But what was done is they did a massive dump of info. They took screenshots, storyboards, concept art, animations, and even gameplay videos were all leaked for mainly 2 or 3 things. One being a brand new game that's due out next year to coincide with the 30th anniversary. So not only are we getting a new game now, but you're going to get another one there. There's also a new MMO type Pokemon game that's due to come out. So details of that were leaked. And the 3rd Legends spin-off. So there's going to be a 3rd Legends spin-off, which was also leaked. By all means, if you want to go check it all out, you can. There's all the stuff there. But if you want to kind of keep it secret, that I'm sure you'll wait till next year and Nintendo will announce it all. Nintendo always getting their databases leaked. I sometimes think it's deliberate because obviously with the hype of the new game coming out, I could see that, them going, well, let's get this out even more. It's leaks all over the place. And the fact that Pokemon Company told said leakers to remove details makes the list more validated. It was. If Phantom wants to know where it's leaked, feel free to put that in there because I'm not going to say it just so I don't get sued. So, gentlemen, I'll start with David and ask Simran. Do we think that this was actually properly hacked, or do you think this was just a very clever marketing ploy?
Chances are it probably was hacked because we hear like places getting hacked left, right, and centre these days, don't we? Hackers always going to find a way in, pull info out. So yeah, probably is. I mean, it doesn't help, as was mentioned in the chat about the I think it was the COO of the Pokemon Company, asking them to take it down, which she says makes it seem very very valid what they've said. It's an interesting sort of read what they got planned for the next few years. I mean, apart from like the MMO, it's nothing too remarkable. It's
pretty much what you
standard
expect.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, regardless of what it ends up coming out, because some of that stuff, could change between now and then. Some of it could get cancelled. Some of it might, take longer to do. I hope they give the devs enough time to make all this stuff and realise that, you do a good performance level and to actually be a bit more perhaps sort of innovative on what they currently get. Because we'll talk about it when we talk about the next game, but I often feel those games don't really change much. They could do a bit more, sort of scope behind them. Really, the devs would be a bit more adventurous. Because considering it's all the biggest franchises around, the games don't seem to do a huge amount, really.
They seem to change one.
They sell a shitload, but
it's
basically the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Simran, your thoughts?
It definitely was intentionally hacked. Like for a business perspective, it's incredibly damaging when this stuff happens because shareholders get very angry when leaks happen because when people find out what's coming, there's less hype surrounding it, which means you get less pre-orders, which means that the company in tow don't make as much money in the long term. So CEOs and executives do not like it when leaks happen. It's not a clever marketing tactic, especially not from the Nintendo company because Nintendo guard their secrets. Obviously, not very well, evidently. I was going to say very well, but not incredibly well because someone found the way to it. But for me with Pokemon, I'm a very casual Pokemon fan. There's not really anything that's gripped me back into Pokemon for a very long time because, as Dave pointed out for me, I just don't see enough innovation. I think with Pokemon, it's a wasted IP a little bit. Like I feel like there's so much more they could do. Why have we not got an open world level Pokemon in-depth game at this stage? I'm talking like Baldur's Gate, a Skyrim level, go out, obviously not killing Pokemon in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Why do we not have an open world Pokemon game at this point? with the amount of you could do with that IP is ridiculous. And yet we do not have one thing that I think everyone would want, which is a very intimate, intricate RPG in that universe. It'd sell like everything, but it always seems to be reiterations of the same thing slightly every few years. And I think that's why I've just tapped out of Pokemon, because for me, the IP is just so underutilized for what we could be doing with it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, and again, we'll talk about this in a little minute, but it seems to be the last 3 main games they've done, they've only changed one mechanic. So it's like you have to wait for a game to get one new mechanic, which seems odd. Jesse says, I imagine it's leaked by someone who is a close friend in the Nintendo marketing department. Highly likely. Dragon says, well, with them hammering down on Power World, it was pretty obvious they're in development of an MMO. Highly likely. Danker says they've been very bad on the leaks front, from insiders spilling details to this data breach. They need to get their security under control. Hannah says Pokemon Yellow will always be the best game. Well, we are going to talk some more Pokemon news, but we are going to talk some Pokemon games, because yes, the brand new Pokemon game, pardon me, Legend Z to A, because it said Z to A, it doesn't sound right, so I'm going to do the American way. Pokemon Legend Z to A came out last Thursday on Switch and Switch 2. So let's have a look at the trailer for this, and then you can all find out what is the one new mechanic they've added to this game. There you go, folks. That is Pokemon Legend Z to A, which came out last Thursday on Switch and Switch 2. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, well, this one's set in Lumios City, which is very much inspired by Paris by the look of it. It's got a sort of Eiffel Tower type structure, and then very sort of similar looking buildings that you'd see in Paris. Your characters come to the city because they're looking to, I believe, take part in the Z2A tournament, where you can battle to improve your rank. But while you're in the city, there seems to be some strange goings on with some of the Mega Pokemon evolutions. Your character gets drawn into the mystery behind why they're sort of running a sort of rampage for the city, and got to find a way to stop them. This has got, as you say, it's one new mechanic, and that is they've changed it from turn-based battling to real-time battling. Yeah. So you can freely move around while you're commanding your Pokemon. And I believe like positioning matters a bit more in it, so you got to be a bit careful where you'll place, so you get the right attacks in and stuff like that. Nicely, they've actually like changed something, but it's still, apart from that, the same type of game as you played a number of times before. You'll just go around defeating the various trainers, collecting a number of Pokemon, training them up to get the better and better evolutions of them. It looks okay for what it is. It's still probably held back a little bit because it's a Switch 1 game.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 version, I've seen it side by side, doesn't look hugely different graphics wise. It's just a bit, of a cleaner, sharper image on the Switch 2. Which, considering you're paying like about £10 extra for that one, doesn't really seem like it's worth the £10 extra just for slightly better frame rate and sharper graphics. But even so, the city itself does look a little bit on the bland side. As I was saying before, the Pokemon games don't really seem to. I don't know. They don't really seem like they've got a huge budget behind them. You think they would, so they could do something really good. But I just kind of get the feeling like they had their budget perhaps cut short, or like dev time cut short, so they can spend little and maximize the profits they get from it, because they never really look that good. They just look okay. And I swear it's a franchise you could do a lot with. You could probably throw voice acting in as well.
There's no voice acting in the big cutscenes either.
No, make it a bit more like the cartoons, improve the graphics level look like a proper anime, but good voice acted it. You could probably make it really good. But they just look a bit bland and dull to me most of the time. I'm sure it will sell a shitload because Pokemon is fucking massive.
Yeah.
So people are going to go out and buy it in droves and it'll make a fortune and then just rush out the next one next year. We'll see what single thing they change in that one.
Yeah.
But, not for me, but the Pokemon fans, I'm sure, will eat it up.
Fair enough. Well, let's see what people are saying in chat, and then I'll get Simran's opinion. DJ Mike says, I've always liked the catching system in the Legends game over the main series. Gilfly says, I love Pokemon games, but with the price of it this year, I'm going to be waiting a while, if I'm honest. Phantom says, so every region is based on a real location. So Carlos, where Zeta A is like France, and Galar was the UK, but heavily Scottish. As someone that's been playing Pokemon since I was 6, I can tell you Game Freak is just not good at making games, but their series makes up for it. So there you go. Simran, your thoughts on this latest Pokemon game?
That trailer is just the epitome of why I don't play Pokemon games, if I'm honest with you. As Dave just highlighted, it just doesn't appeal to me. Everything you could be doing, like you could make it look like an anime. Like you could make it look so beautiful. And obviously, I'm not behind the dev scene, so I don't know what the budgets look like. I don't know what the internal development hall looks like, or what the timelines are even working towards. I'd have to understand what the production timeline that they're working towards behind the scenes is. But I'm speaking overall here.
Yeah.
That trailer right there is why I do not play Pokemon. It looks no different to me than the last 4 Pokemon games that have come out. Like you could be doing so much with it. You could have a first-person story-based game in the Pokemon universe where everything's from a first-person perspective, and you literally do a cyberpunk and literally have it where you're going out hunting for Pokemon. Or you could do an RPG like Baldur's Gate or Skyrim, and you could have it look all beautiful in the anime style. There is an exhibitor coming to Format this year who has made a beautiful hand-drawn animated game. Why does his game look like that and not even a fraction of the budget that Nintendo is dealing with? And yet they just look like drawn color pastel game. I sound like I'm ranting here. This is where it comes out, because for me, this is a deeper conversation, but with creativity, you often find franchises eventually fall when a company becomes lackadaisical and they don't innovate. And we've highlighted with Pokemon, they're not innovating. One new mechanic every year. It's the FIFA mentality. They just don't do what they need to release a new product. And this is why I don't like, because I like Pokemon as an IP. I just don't like how it's being utilized at the moment. And eventually it's going to collapse if they go down this. It'll still sell well, but eventually there's only so many times you can do this. Like only so many times before eventually even the consumer base will eventually start to see it.
Well, this will be interesting on how well this sells, because obviously there was a lot of good faith put in the last major title, and that came out in a really shoddy state and was deemed as one of the worst Pokemon games around until they finally kind of fixed it. But this seems to have a bit more faith behind it. So it's that thing whether they're going to restore people's faith. Dragon says, I mean, even the new Switch 2 isn't that powerful. It's the equivalent of a PS4 or an Xbox Series S. That's what a Switch 2.
That is still powerful.
That's still pretty powerful. And yet you've got a game that looks like this.
I think what PS4 managed to run, like we managed to run Uncharted: A Thieves' End on PS4. So I don't want to hear it's not powerful, guys, because we ran some pretty good games on the PS4.
Yeah.
The Last of Us, and every HD remaster of it since then.
I know, We're on to the 42nd remaster of that, and I think there's another one coming out next month. But we'll see. Right, let's get some scores in. M says, I still think like an 8. They're not really for me, but I've heard good things from people who know more about Pokemon than me. Gilvar says, I'll be honest, I do think for a handhold, the Switch 2 is very good. So do I. I really like my Switch 2, so there you go. Danka said, because this was one of our 50 games to look out for. We put a show together at the start of the year, 50 games to look out for. This featured in it. Danka did a prediction. His prediction was 8. We'll have to see if he's correct. Let's see what people are saying. We've got some scores. Do you know what? We'll go with some of the scores straight away. As soon as someone has seen been Pokemon since... Oh, no, I've already read that one out. Sorry. Let's have a look at scores. Danka's saying an 8, which was a predicted score from back in January. Gozzo says an 8. Fleabag says a 7.5. Retro Shazar says 8.5. Hannah says, I love Pokemon, but this doesn't give me the same vibes as the other one, so I reckon a 7. Flame says an 8. Gilfly says, but won't see the full capacity till we get more third-party games on the Switch 2. I agree, because we've literally only had like 2 new games. We've got a few more coming out with Hyrule Warriors and the new Kirby, and then we've got Metroid, but there needs to be more main line games before you see what it can really do. DJ Mike says 8. Remember, Resident Evil 9 is coming to Switch 2 as well. It is, indeed. And yet they couldn't get Borderlands 4 working on it. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking 7.5. Gilfly says 7.5. iQuell says 8. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this has got?
I'm going to try an 8 for this one.
Okay, going for an 8. Gilfly agrees with me. Thank you. Phantom says 8. I'm trying to decide if it's worth getting a Switch 2 because I literally use it for Mario Kart and this. The Mario Kart's great. Not going to lie. I enjoy it. Don't bother with the open world shit. It's not worth bothering with, but as a game, it's great. Yeah. Simran, what do you reckon?
Even though I don't want to give it because it's my personal thing, but I'll give it an 8 because I know how these games review, and I reckon it's going to be an 8, whether I want to give it that score or not.
Okay, all right. No worries, folks. This is your last chance. This is Pokemon Legends Zeta A, which came out last Thursday on Switch and Switch 2. And I can tell you, if there's no more guesses in chat, that this... Mods, you're going to be busy. This did get an 8 out of 10. So we got a lot of people who got this right. So not only did our guests get it right, so can we get more shout outs for Format? The Format link is there. Get your tickets now for Format. All the tickets are there. And you can also get tickets about the after party, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The Industry Day, though, has sold out. We can officially say the Industry Day has sold out. So that's amazing. But get your tickets there. Link is in YouTube and on Twitch right now. But congratulations to iQuail, who got it right. DJ Mike Storm got it right. Flame got it right. Let's see who else got it right. Danker got his prediction in January. Nice one, Danker. Got it right. Gozzo got it right as well. If I've missed anyone, my apologies, but I think that's everyone that got it right. Congratulations to you all. You'll get your shout outs in the chat. And also, and Format has appeared multiple times because we give you multiple shout outs because we need to do. Okay. So there you go. We're going to hammer that home because if you haven't bought your tickets, what are you doing? You've got to be there next week. It's going to be awesome.
There's only 10% of tickets left as well.
I know. It's going to sell out, people. It's going to sell out by this time next week. I'm going to be on this show going, it's sold out. You didn't get your ticket. Tough shit. Should have got it now by clicking that link. Dave is obviously not a streamer, so we have to give him a shout out in a different way. Oh, Brian said 8 as well, so make sure he gets a shout out as well. Thank you, Brian. Sorry, I knew I missed someone. My apologies. Dave, how would you like your first shout out of the evening, good sir?
Do a bit of spinning on your chair, mate.
Spinning on the chair. Now, luckily, the dogs went back yesterday, so I'm not going to knock them over. So Mojo and Pixie were on the stream last night, so I'm not going to go kick dropping them across the studio. Here we go. Dave Z2A.
Very nice.
There you go. All the shout outs are going out right now. So thank you to the mods for doing all the hard work. And we will swiftly move on to our fourth game of the night because many of you may have heard of Escape from Tarkov. But now there is something more sinister, more deadly than you can ever imagine. Folks, this is Escape from Duckov. There you go. A lot of people digging this in the chat. This looks really good. Fleabag saying, reminds me of From Space. I remember that. I remember playing that. Very similar top-down perspective indeed. So, yeah, they've basically taken the well-known Escape from Tarkov and done something a little bit different, didn't they, with it, Dave?
Yeah, I thought let's throw some ducks in. Yeah, mix it up a bit with ducks. I mean, why not? I mean, it's the sort of game, you hear the title, you could think it's just going to be like some basic little sort of mean game that's just playing on the title of a bigger game just to get some sales in. But this is actually pretty, a fully featured game with quite a lot of content to it. It's, I believe, a single player PvE extraction shooter.
Yeah.
So you get to design your own duck. There's lots of options you can pick from. Make your own duck up, and then take them into these various big size maps, and you've got to gather resources and try and extract out of there. And then you've got some base building you can do, and then go back in. Just keep doing runs to go back in, completing missions, improve your base, improve your gear. It's got that sort of loot to it, and apparently it's pretty good. The shooting's pretty tight in there. The loot and stuff is pretty decent that you get, and it actually looks quite good. I watched a trailer and I think I'd actually give that a go. Looks like be good fun.
Yeah, think it looks fun. I've never actually played Escape from Tarkov. I'm not going to lie.
I never tried it myself. I think it's pretty hardcore for an extraction shooter.
Yeah, I've seen other people play it, but this I'm more likely to try because it does look fun. Simran, fancy ducking around?
I think that looks ducking brilliant, first and foremost. I mean, I think that's a game that knows what it is. It's done a huge play on words, and I just think it looks cool. It seems like a tight gameplay, good looting system, good shooting system. I think I can see that as a really cool little PC indie game or something that I'd play on the tablet potentially as well if I was ever just wanting to chill. It does have that sort of tablet, mobile, PC game sort of vibe to it. So, I think it's a game that knows what it is fundamentally. It looks fun. I'd play it. And, I think it's a decent enough game for what it is.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. Folks, get your scores in now. If you want to get shout-outs in the chat, let's have a look. A couple of people saying, M was like, yes, this looks sick. 10 out of 10. Danka, 7.5. Gozzo, 7.5. Brian, UK Gaming Network, 7. Dragon says an 8. Good night, Phantom. Phantom's off to bed. Thank you for being here. I know she stuck around to watch the Pokemon stuff, so that's cool. Retro's 7. Laura's hiding, 8. iQuail, 7. Flame, 7. Gilfly, 7.5. Simran, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to put it at a 7.
Okay, going for a 7. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to try an 8.
Going for an 8. Okay. Did Em say something else, actually? Did she go? Oh, it's probably actually going to be a 6, though. So she'd like to give it a 10, but it's probably going to be a 6. Dave, you're saying an 8, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, Fleabag saying an 8.5. Last chance, folks. Get your scores in now. No ducking about, because this is Escape from Duck-Off, which came out last Thursday on PC. And if there are no more scores in chat, I can tell you that this, to some people's disappointment, but not to everyone, got a 7.5, which is decent.
Perfectly reasonable.
So there you go. Perfectly reasonable. So, Gilfly, congratulations, you got it right. And Gozzo and Danka. And I think Gozzo and Danka might be 4 for 4. And it's interesting because normally Danka's pre-predictions don't always go the way he hopes. But this week it did, because he doesn't obviously has to guess them in January, but he's done all right. Did all right with that. So that's actually helped him now. So he's now 4 for 4 along with Gozzo. So that is good. Fleabag's like, I'm shit at this. It's fine. Just warming up for next week, mate, when you're on the show. So get your shout outs now. Let's move on to some more gaming news. And this is an interesting one because, as you know, there was a lot of talk about the fact that the Dead Space franchise, and Ellie's here. Good evening, all. Hi, Simran, says Ellie. Glenn Schofield, the creator of Dead Space, a couple of years ago was launching his brand new game because he'd left EA and had set up Striking Distance, which was also part of the group that was like an offshoot from PUBG and everything. What's it? What are they called? Crafton. Thank you. That do PUBG and everything. So Striking Distance was set up because he was releasing the Callisto Protocol, which I enjoyed, but not everyone did. It's one of those games that I did like, but not everyone did. And then obviously the Dead Space remake then came out literally 2 months later and absolutely wiped its arse with it because Motive were responsible. Obviously, Glenn, his company weren't responsible for that. A year later, he left Striking Distance And he's been very keen to get a fourth game going. So Glenn Schofield's like, look, we did the first two. We did a brilliant job. There was problems with EA interfering with the third game, hence why Dead Space 3 is never regarded as a great game. It's a bit of an okay game at best. But he said what might now work in his favour, because he went and reapproached EA originally and said, look, I want to bring the team back. I want to do a fourth game. And they said, no. However, EA has been massively, as we've spoken about on here, been massively bought out recently. And it's brought a whole new load of people in. Glenn was like, if I can bring the people in, and I could also work alongside possibly Motive, or basically Motive don't want to do it and we'll do it, there's possibility to basically get a fourth game, because different decision makers are there. And if they appreciate what the fan base appreciate, because Dead Space remake was a huge success, that they would potentially could give him a green light to do it. And he said, phone calls are happening. So I am very much excited to see if a Dead Space 4 is going to happen. I'm hopefully going to see Glenn Schofield speak at an event next month. And interesting to see what he's got to say. But do we think EA will go yay or nay?
I think they'd probably be more nay at the moment, because I think they wouldn't. I doubt they see Dead Space as much of a commercial success. So whilst the remake was really good, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it got good reviews and stuff like good critical reception, I don't think it sold as much as it needed to.
No.
So that ain't going to help if it starts, because why would you make a fourth game in a mainline series that's now over like 10 years old? Tons of people won't know what the story is if a fourth one comes out. Probably wouldn't have any interest in going back to play 3 previous ones to catch up with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bit of a tricky one. The new owners of EA, I would say, probably couldn't care less about what EA put out, only as long as it makes money.
Yeah.
Because and the current top management, CEOs and stuff like that of EA, they're not changed, I don't believe. So I don't know. As nice as it would be to see more Dead Space, I just can't really see them doing it, because again, they're also quite risk averse at the moment. All the big AAAs, they're like hoarding their IP. So I don't think they wouldn't sell it like I think he suggested in some of his the articles I've seen. I don't think EA would sell property out, and they would probably only make deals with people to make a game that they would still publish if they thought it was going to make money. And I just don't think Dead Space at the moment would make the money back.
Yeah,
which is a shame, because that remake, I really loved it. It was fantastic.
I think this is why there's no sense of a Dead Space 2 remake that everyone was shouting for, because the first remake didn't shift. It didn't, which is a shame. And this is another reason why it's another reason why Glenn Schofield's not been able to get anything off the ground himself, because Callisto Protocol also failed to sell well, and that's why Striking Distance was then shot a year after. Which is a thing. I'm going to get opinion on here, but it says, M says, I agree with Dave here. I think EA is too much of a big machine to really go off passion projects like Dead Space. UK Gaming Network says, I'm one of the few people who love Callisto Protocol. Same here. I did. I really enjoyed it. Actually completed it twice. I even enjoyed the DLC, which, again, some people criticize, because if you got the DLC, it continued the story and actually gave you the proper ending of the game, which is a bit annoying that they didn't put that in the main game.
No,
but
it's shit when they do that.
Yeah, it's shit that did that. That was the one thing I didn't agree with. Simran, your thoughts on this? Are we going to get this Dead Space 4? Do we reckon?
No, absolutely. It's not going to happen. It just won't. I can tell you now, with the trajectory that EA is working towards at the moment, and obviously, because I come from industry, I'm going to just say something for the audience here. When you want to look at the trajectory of where a company's going to go, look at the games that they're currently looking at. Look at things like the design that they follow for their game design. Look at the marketing that they do for their game. If they have microtransactions, look at how they structure their games to work and monetize those games. Dead Space isn't a monetizable IP at the moment, and with EA, they focus heavily a lot on monetization, whether that's through a lot of the games that they work on, or trying to find ways to capitalize on online play, or looking for new in-app ways that they can get people to do it. It's all about retention now. We currently live in an age where games companies are trying to get people to invest more time into a singular game than spend on a very short period of time, which is why we see, even though we are seeing a fight back now and people want more story-based games, which is really good to see, because I'm a story-based guy, companies do ultimately think of how long can I make this game last so that it can continue to fund other projects into the next development cycle. And Dead Space just isn't one of those games. If I was the CEO of EA, I personally would not make another Dead Space game, because I would think that this is a very short-term project that will make X amount of revenue, and after its first year of lifespan, it'll maybe sell a handful of copies. For example, for the chat right now, did you know that the previous 2 Call of Duties have to continue making money to fund the current Call of Duty that's being made? So when you're all thinking of playing the latest Call of Duty, they're still selling copies of 2 previous installments of Call of Duty just to fund the development of the current one. And that's how a lot of these companies think, and EA is no different. So I would love to see it come to life, because I only played the first 2. I loved the first 2 Dead Space games, but I just, from a financial perspective, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I think they tried to monetize it with the third one, as everyone knows, and this was the downfall of why Dead Space 3 failed. So if their main thing is monetizing games, and they've tried it in a game and it failed, they're not going to try and resurrect something, because they're not. If they can't put monetization in, it ain't going to work for EA. So we'll see. But maybe Glenn might get it to another studio. You don't know. Someone else might take the mantle. So we'll have to see. It'd be interesting. I personally want it, like everyone else. I just don't think EA are going to be the people for it. So there we go. Now, talking of industry, obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more format now, because obviously we talked about the main event. But there are 2 other parts to format that people might not be aware of. The first is actually on the Wednesday, and I'm going to bring up the file for this. I think it's promo video 2, so fingers crossed I play this. This is going to tell you a little bit about what the sold out industry event on the Wednesday day is. Let's have a look at this. So there you go. This is on the Wednesday, technically in 2 parts, isn't it, Simran? Because you got your second summit, because you did your summit in Manchester back in April, which thank you very much for inviting me. I greatly enjoyed. As you said, you've got networking, pitch deck reviews, you've got panels, talks from 11 a.m. to 5:30. And then you've got the evening mixer, which is something that you've done for many years now. And again, always very grateful for being invited and come along. They're always great events. You get to see lots of different industry people, whether it's people that work on art stuff, actual devs from games, people in the industry, the solicitors, the accountants, all the people that you wouldn't think about that helps make gaming companies exist. And they all come together for a good chat and a good drink. And that's what you've got lined up for us on the Wednesday, haven't you?
Yeah, so what reformat is to really break this down is, unless you're industry focused, you don't really know what reformat is, but it's our dedicated B2B B2B events. And what that basically means is you get the opportunity to network with people in the industry. This April, I trialed something completely different, which was I wanted to do an all-day conference style event, because Reformat initially just started off as the VIP industry night, the night before our main festival, and then by industry, the industry loved it. They were like, it takes all the best bits of a networking event and gets rid of all the boring rubbish that we don't like. So they then became their own standalone events that we now do dotted throughout the year. And this year, because I'm a psychopath, I decided I'm going to do a summit on the Wednesday. I'm going to do the main festival on the main day, and I'm going to do the after party, because I am a little bit neurospicy, and with that came a bit of psychotic tendencies of thinking I can do all this, and I did do it all. And what the Wednesday is basically an opportunity. It's going to be a lot of great talks, great panels by industry leaders in the video games industry, creative industry, VFX industry, investment industry. So you get to listen to talks about publishing your game on mobile or how to launch a Kickstarter and fund a video game. We've got some of the game designers of Horizon Zero Dawn talking about the game design that went into that and the VR version of it as well. It's actually Firesprite who made the VR version of that game. We've got creative industry panels talking about how the VFX industry helps video game designers create a lot of the VFX that you see in there. We've even got a dedicated CEO panel of game studios, some of which are flying all the way from India and other countries just to speak at, where they will talk about what it takes to actually build a video game studio and the human side of that journey. And there's a lot of networking opportunities in there. I love a bit of lunch included because I look after them all. There's speed networking, which was a concept I came up with this year, and I loved it. And by popular demand, it has come back. So imagine speed dating, but for networking. Live entertainment throughout the day as well, because I'm spoiling them now. They get entertainment in the day and the
evening. Okay.
And then we also have the evening side of it, which is where everyone comes to have a bit of a network and a nice chat. Everyone comes and the best deals are made at the bar, which is what everyone loves to do. So they all come, network, have those intimate times with each other. And plus, because it's me, they're always good vibes. I've always got live music on. I've always got something up my sleeve. There are still mixer tickets available because the daytime summit was limited only to 100 people and it sold out ridiculously quick, which was great to see. But if you are interested in meeting game designers, if you do want to meet people from the industry that make the games, a lot of the game developers that are going to be on Showcase at Format, the main event, come to the industry nights. So that'd be a chance to meet them in person, have a chat with them. There are still tickets to the mixer available. But that is what Reformat is. It's a day for the industry to really come together, network, show off their projects, talk about talks, and gain insights into the people that make the games that we all play today.
Nice. And then to tail off the 3-day events, me and Simran have got together again, bumped our heads together for the official Format after party, which will be taking place on the Friday at our very own timeless venue over at Arcane's Arcade in the Cocktail Bar. Tickets have been selling really well. Over 300 tickets, Simran said to me earlier this week.
Well, I've got it up right here, right now. It's 309 currently.
309. Yes, 309 tickets. We have got the wonderful DJ Nafi B. Who's going to be spinning the wheels are still there. We're going to run some competitions where you may be winning some prizes. I haven't quite decided what we want. It might be a few bits of Format merch if Simran's very kind to give us some. You might play some competitions, whether it be a bit of FIFA or a bit of Mario Kart. And basically, there'll be a ton of cocktails, and you can turn up dressed up in Halloween as what you want. I'm seriously considering just turning up like this because I can get away with looking like President Zelensky. So that'll be my that'll be my cheap Halloween thing. But yeah, tickets are still available for that, and that will take place in the Cocktail Bar. And as a bonus as well, including the ticket price, you get access to the whole of Arcane's as well.
Yeah.
So you can basically go around the whole arcade. For
£5 plus a £1 ticketing fee, you get access to a whole arcade that would otherwise cost you £20 to into as well.
And to get into the Cocktail Bar, it's an extra £5, so it'd be 25 quid for the night, and you've only got to pay a £5. So technically, you're only paying to get into the Cocktail Bar, and you get the rest free.
That is how nice we are. Look at what I've done for you all. I've got you the biggest lineup ever. I've managed to get you a ball pit because I know that's what you're all most excited for. I've managed to get you an industry day and an after party where we take over a whole floor of an arcade.
And there's some great cocktails. Great cocktails.
I've not actually tried the cocktails yet. You're hyping these up. What's all right, chat? I need to ask the chat a question. What are we more excited for, the cocktails or the ball pit?
Oh, I think they'll say ball pit. There you go, ball pit. There you go. We just got our tickets. For the main event and after party. Woo! Thank you so much, Em. I seriously can't wait. iQuell's got tickets. Everyone's saying ball pit. So there you go. All right, ball pit first, cocktail second. There you go. But yeah, get your tickets now if you haven't. Please do. Cocktails in the ball pit. Well, technically it's a different venue, isn't it? Always love the balls, but there you go. So it's great because the beautiful thing with this is you got your main event at the wonderful Camp and Furnace there, and then literally you've only got to cross the road the next day to come to Arcane's for the after party. So we've managed to keep it all nice and close this time. So even if you don't know your way around, it's like, oh, it's there. It's easy. So there you go. As Simran says, we try and look after you. So really looking forward to doing that. And thanks to Simran for asking us to partner up again and bring bring a bit of fun for a Friday night, especially it's Halloween night. So
oh yeah, I refused to budge on Halloween. Like it was happening, and it's a pleasure to be partnering with you, Mags. But I will say, I expect to see costumes. I will be so disappointed. I'm dressing up, so if the CEO of the company's dressing up, y'all better be dressing up.
I'm going to dress up. I might do two. I might do Zelensky and someone else because Zelensky's easy. I just got to buy a jumper.
I don't know, he's upped his fashion game lately. He actually wears a little bit of something like semi-professional when he goes to the now.
That's disappointing now, but there you go. But yeah, you can come in cosplay, Halloween dress, you name it, bring it on. I forgot the after party was Halloween night. Shall be packing my face paints. Do it. We want to see you.
I tell you what, if you want, as a nice little treat, I'll give you the exclusive honour of painting my face if you want at the after party.
There you go. Dragon says, I cannot wait for the event and after party. It's going to be amazing. So can we have the link again for Format? You can get your tickets. If you want to come to the industry mixer, tickets are available. Get your tickets for the main event because there's literally only a handful left. And then I don't think we got many left for the after party, I'll be totally honest, because we've got a limited space on the after party because the after party is not obviously as big as the main event. So
yeah, we are edging that venue capacity very soon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people will be spilling out into the courtyard at this rate. Laurie's saying, I'm gutted I can't stay for the after party, but I do have a costume. So awesome. Well, you've got to come and say hi, Laura, because obviously we're not met. Come say hi. We'll be there. We're well, you'll see. That's it. All I'm going to say. You'll see us. We're on the Timeless stand with the Just Dancers. In which room are we in again? I'm trying to remember the name.
You're in camp, my friend.
That's it. We're in the camp room.
You're with Dubtendo in the nerd you get a front row seat to the nerd violinist.
We are. We're quite close to the stage as well, which is awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. That saves me having to duck out and there's another duck joke. Duck out and go watch the other things on stage. I can just in the comfort of my own stand watch those amazing acts.
The ducks are back. Oh
yeah. Sorry. Well, let's move on. Let's move on because obviously I was clearly reaching for a joke there. So let's see how we move on to this next game because this came out on Thursday on MetaQuest 3, Steam VR, and PSVR 2. And surprise, surprise, it's called Reach. See what I did there? Yeah. Hey, look at me. I'm really clever.
Has returned to the land they left to rot. How wonderful of you to join us.
Beware, Rosa. As Farah decays, it becomes more perilous by the day.
Ah! Jesus, that was close. I need to get out of here.
There you go, folks. Out on MetaQuest 3, Steam VR, and PSVR 2. That is Reach. That looks pretty cool. Tell us a bit more, Dave.
Yeah, this is a new action adventure game in VR from End Dreams, who've made quite a number of VR titles over the last couple of years. Got a few good ones on PlayStation VR. This one looks pretty decent from what I can tell in the trailer. Although I did see one review that said they had quite a few bugs on release and had trouble like completing the game on a few of the platforms. So whilst I think it looks quite good, sounds like it still needs a little bit of work, and it's probably worth keeping an eye on like user reviews to make sure that things have been fixed before you jump in and purchase it. But hopefully, once it gets a few patches, it'll be a good action adventure title because it looks pretty cool. Your character seems to have get caught up in some sort of earthquake and ends up falling into like some sort of subterranean world where they awaken. There's a hidden civilization down there, so you've got to try and find out what this hidden civilization is all about, how it's got there, who they are, what their plans are. But VR wise, it looks pretty good. It looks like there's a lot of interactivity there, a lot of climbing around the environment, a lot of swinging around stuff. You've got like a cool shield you can use, so you can protect yourself with it or fling it out at enemies. Guns to use, you've got bow and arrow. I think it's even got some stealth sections to it. So it looks like it's got a lot of the sort of good stuff you want in the VR game to really make you feel that you're there and you're taking part in the world.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one that I hadn't heard of, but I'm definitely interested now. I've seen the trailers for it, but I'm going to wait a little bit just to make sure it does get fully patched up and gets improved to make sure it is the game that the company wanted to release. It kind of sounds like it's been pushed just that little bit too early from the review that I saw. But I'll say give it a couple of months and hopefully be in a good state and will be worth playing. So I do like the look of this one.
Okay, Simran, your thoughts on this one?
I've actually been following this for a long time because I know the team at Endreams quite well, and I was actually trying to get this as an exhibitor for next week. So I've been following it for quite some time actually, and I've had first-hand experience with it at shows that they've took it to previously, and it is for a VR game, it's very smooth. The interactivity is really, really cool. The mirror and the environments are very, very beautiful. I do question the aesthetic packs for it, though, when you're in VR. I always wonder when I see VR games that give you aesthetic packs for the character. I'm like, you can never see the character.
Yeah, it's a bit pointless, isn't it?
I've always wondered, like, why did you give aesthetic packs? Like, so just if you could maybe see your character in like reflections of mirrors and stuff.
But
maybe, but I never get that. But overall, it's a solid game. I've had first-hand experience with it. It's a lot of fun. It's a very good VR title, and Endreams always release good VR titles anyway. They're one of the more prominent, well-known, and very good VR developers.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what people are saying. Danka said, I've not heard of this one. Well, I'll be honest, this only came up on my radar at the start of this month when I got the game list. So I was like, I'd only started to hear about this about 2-3 weeks ago. But Danka said, let's go for a safe 7 on this one. Brian at the UK Gaming Network says a 7.5. Gozzo saying a 7. Dragon's like, yeah, I think a 7. iQuail, 7.5. Danka said, if it's games like I played previously, it will be cardiac intensive. Get your scores in chat, folks, for this one. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got then?
I'm going to go for a 7.
Going for a 7. C4 and Haggis said, Mr. Trailer again, 7.5. No idea. Retro Jazar says a 7. So everyone's going 7, 7.5. Simran, what do you reckon?
7.5.
Going for a 7.5. Okay. Flame saying a 7. Folks, this is your last chance. Get your scores in. This is Reach, which came out last Thursday on MetaQuest 3, Steam VR, and PlayStation VR 2. And if there are no more scores in chat, I can tell you, despite the bugs, this did very well.
Oh, awesome.
8 out of 10. Now, I did see some reviews that were 7, but I saw some reviews that were a lot higher than said score that's there. So it got a lot of praise. So I'd say, as Dave says, it's definitely worth getting, but maybe wait a little while till they patch the bugs out, and then it will definitely be worth that 8 out of 10 right there. So nobody, as far as I can tell, got that right. So unfortunately, Danka and Gozzo's streak has now been broken. So there you go. C4 says, doing the kiddos' bedtime schnizzle. No worries, mate. No worries. So no one on that one. Now, to a game that I had the pleasure of playing last night. This you can get on Game Pass, but it's out on Xbox Series X and PC, and it came out last Friday. And it's the latest work of a fantastic studio, Double Fine. Let's have a look at what I consider to be an absolute masterpiece, which was Keeper. There you go, folks. That is the very beautiful looking Keeper, which came out last Friday, and you can get it on Xbox Game Pass. Dragon MCCC, the art style is cool. It certainly is. I had a lot of fun with this last night on stream. But for anyone who doesn't know what this is, Dave, give us a lowdown on Keeper.
Yeah, this is a bit of a sort of surreal sort of puzzle platformer from Double Fine Games. In this one, you're playing as a sentient lighthouse who just sort of comes awake when a little seabird lands on top of you. The seabird seeking refuge from some, I don't know, bat-type creatures that are chasing it, and that event just causes the lighthouse to become sentient, grow legs, and start walking around through the world. And as a few people have mentioned, it's a very sort of beautiful-looking world, very cool art style too. It's all quite a nice sort of painterly effect to it, and you're just sort of progressing through the world, just trying to sort of discover what it's all about, really. Yeah, solving puzzles along the way, using the little bird to help you with the puzzles on some occasions, and meeting some interesting sort of other creatures as you're exploring. And I think I played about hour and a half out of the weekend, and it didn't seem too bad. The only little niggle I had with it was because it's fixed camera angles. There were a couple of times where I couldn't quite tell where it wanted me to go.
Right,
I couldn't move the camera around, try and find the route. So good times just bumping around the edge of the environment to try and find the path forward. But that was about the only complaint I had with it. The puzzles early on seemed fairly simple, as you'd expect it to be. So I expect they'll probably like ramp up a little bit in complexity as you go forward. And looking at what it shows in the trailer, so there's some like cool locations coming up that I'll get to visit. So it looks like there's one where you you get covered in some sort of, I don't know, candy floss, that lets you float around. That looks quite cool. So I'll look forward to getting to that part and then seeing what else comes up. And there's other people that mentioned the chat as well. It's a short game, about 5-ish hours. 5 to 6 hours is honestly perfect these days. I'm fed up with stuff that overstays its welcome. So 5 hours is great. Quite happy to play something like that.
Definitely. Simran, your thoughts on Keeper?
I think that's a very, very beautiful game that knows exactly what it is. I mean, Double Fine, it's in the name. They are very fine, and add Double Fine to that. But they always make cracking games. I think I know what this is straight off the tin. As soon as I saw a trailer for it, I went, "That's a Double Fine game." I knew instantly, and I trust them from the brand alone. And it seems like something I would play. They say 5 hours is perfect for me these days because it takes me a millennia to. I've had the Oblivion remaster on PS5 since August 4th, and I've not even made it outside the Imperial City yet. How little free time I have. So something like 5 hours is perfect for me. Yeah. And I'd play it. It looks beautiful.
Sweet. All right. Well, let's see what chat are saying. If you have just joined us, you know what all the scores are in chat. Try and guess what the reviewers said, the review scores in chat. So Danker is saying an 8 out of 10 for this one. Gozzo also saying an 8. Brian at UK Gaming Network says superb game, 9 out of 10. Dragon saying an 8. C4 Haggis says 7.5. iCraft says looks amazing, but it seems a bit slow paced for me. 7. Retro Jazar, 8 out of 10. So let's go with Simran. What would you give this?
Oh, I'd give that a very strong 8. Very strong 8. I'm tempted to give it a 9, but I'm going to say... Joe, I'm going to listen to my gut. I'm going to give it a 9.
It's going for a 9. Dave. All right. Okay, it's going for a 9. He's listening to his gut. Flame is saying an 8. Dave, what's your gut telling you?
I'm going to go for an 8.5.
8.5 is the kind of meeting in the middle there. Okay. Last chance, folks. This is Keeper, which came out on Friday on Xbox Series X and S and PC, and you can get it on Game Pass as well. Ems is saying 8.5, so agreeing with Dave. If there are no more scores in chat, I can say I thoroughly enjoyed my couple of hours with this. I'll be looking forward to finishing this off later this week if I get some time, which I hope. And because of that, I am very happy that this, on average, did get a whopping 9 out of 10.
Oh.
So well done to Simran and well done to Brian. Obviously, we give a shout out to Brian over on YouTube. Simran, we will chuck those format links in the chat now. So get your tickets now for the world's best gaming and nightlife event. Easily, hands down. There you go.
Flatterer.
I try. I always want to try and get you back for next year. So that's why. So there you go. A very well deserved 9 out of 10. My losing streak continues, says Dragon. Don't worry. Do not worry. But there you go. Well done, Simran. Well done, Brian, for that. That is awesome. Let's move on to some gaming news. I know this is one to take literally with a pinch of salt because I always try and find something that's quite funny. But due to the release of Pokemon Z to A, something in Japan was trending that wasn't trending around the world. And that thing that was trending, Pokemon poop. Yes, people were trending about Pokemon poo because there is a bit of dialogue which talks about Pikachu. And if you play this, the American version, the English version, or anywhere around the world, talks about the fact that Pikachu has got a tummy ache. However, in the Japanese version, it doesn't translate to that. It translates to the fact that my Pokemon is basically needing to poop. So this went trending on social media, and they were like, do Pokemon poop? How does that work? What were they eating to make them want to poop? What were they making to them to get a dodgy tummy? And it set a whole spark of conversation off. I found this quite amusing because it was literally from one line. It doesn't even explain it. It's one line of dialogue that someone says on a park bench and then doesn't explain it anymore. But there's been the old lost in translation. So I'm going to answer the question. This is a deadly serious question. Do we think Pokemon poop?
I mean, I didn't before.
Certainly sounds like it.
I didn't think so before this because, correct me if I'm right, is there any like Pokemon scientists in the chat? Can someone explain the technology of Pokemon to me? Right, the Pokemon are real physical animals and then they can get caught with the balls.
Yeah.
Like, and shut up, chat. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How does the ball capture the Pokemon again? Like, is it some sort of like holographic interface that traps them in the ball? Like, how does it work? Because do they stop becoming living, breathing animals? Like, how do they breathe? Where do they poo in the ball when they're there as well?
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
That's like a genie in the lamp. How much shit is in that lamp?
Well,
exactly.
Maybe we found the new mechanic for the next games. You know, you'll be shuffling Pokemon shit, cleaning out those Pokemon.
Well, this is that realistic RPG I want. You've got to look after the hygiene and poop levels of the Pokemon.
Clean up after it.
Yeah. And it just makes you wonder now, because they're real animals. I'm going to say yes, purely just because before Ash Ketchum and his group of psychotic friends that go around trapping animals, when you think about it, they are basically just animal farmers. They go around kidnapping animals and putting them in small cages and then selling them to their mates. Like, that's really, when you think about it, it is really dark actually when you look at it like that. Yeah. But before that, the Pokemon are actual animals, so I'm guessing they do need to evacuate their bowels at some point. So I'm going to say they probably do poop before they get put in the ball, and I don't know what happens when they go into that ball.
Yeah. The new phrase for Pokemon, gotta poop them all. There you go. Dave, do you even want to answer this?
No, I don't think I've got anything else to add apart from there's your new gameplay mechanic for the next ones.
Yeah, there you go. Gameplay mechanic. Shit, literally. There you go. Here you go. Make it canon, Nintendo, says Dan Game Tank. Let's swiftly move on to our two final games of the night, and they're two biggies, both that came out today. I will be playing this first one on stream tomorrow on Twitch and TikTok. So if you want to check this out, this will be at 8:30 tomorrow on those platforms. As I say, this came out today on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and also is on Game Pass. There's been a lot of Ninja games. We've had Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, the retro thing. We've had Shinobi, a revamping of Shinobi. And now we get the next mainline Ninja Gaiden game, which is Ninja Gaiden 4.
No matter how many times I kill him, he always returns. Only a master ninja of the Raven clan can send the Dark Dragon to his true grave. But no such ninja has answered the call.
Try to pull anything shady, just cut me down then and there. You have no idea, do you? If And only if you deem him worthy.
He doesn't scare me.
Be careful, Yakumo.
Tell me, Yakumo, do you really plan on keeping this up?
The supreme dark dragon in all his glory.
There you go. Ninja Gaiden 4 lands today. So go check it out. Dave, tell us more about this in the next mainline story of these games.
Yeah, this is bringing the fast-paced hack and slash, brutal hack and slash of the classic Ninja Gaiden games. Back for a fourth entry. You've got the original protagonist Ryu Hayabashi's in there, but you're also playing as a new character called Yakumo, and they're kind of on I think a bit of an intersecting path. They're going to clash a few times through the story. And the story kind of involves, I think, some the city of Tokyo kind of getting shrouded in like mist, and there's new enemies appearing there, cybernetic soldiers and otherworldly creatures be caused by some resurrections of an ancient enemy, and the two ninjas are going to come together and solve that issue at the end of the day. But it looks like this is the type of game you're mainly going in for that hardcore hack and slash. I think even if you're not particularly skilled at the old games, I think you can still get some enjoyment out of this one, still progress through it. But for the people who just love whacking that difficulty setting right to the top on these games, it is going to match up with what they liked in the previous ones. It is going to be challenging, it is going to be brutal. But if you've got the reflexes for it, the speed for it, then you can probably do some pretty cool moves in there. Lots of combos to learn, new weapons to master. And no doubt we'll probably see some speedrunners, doing it on the hardcore mode and with like a drum set controller in a couple of weeks' time, putting all the rest of us to shame. We can't even do anything with the controller.
Yeah,
so that's bound to happen pretty soon. Before I can tell, it looks pretty decent graphics-wise. I think it's meant to be fairly reasonable story-wise as well. I mean, these sort of games, the story is always fairly nonsensical, but apparently this one actually tries a little bit harder, and the story does make a bit more sense than in previous games. So. It sounds like it's a pretty good return of the Ninja Gaiden series.
Simran, your thoughts? You played the others?
I'm ashamed to say I've never played a Ninja Gaiden game, so I can't comment on the story. I can comment purely from a visual and gameplay perspective. But from a gameplay perspective, it seems to own it looks like a really fine-tuned, well-animated, good flow hack and slash game. Like it looks really, really cool. I'm going to show my ignorance here and say, to me personally, from a story perspective, it looks like an anime storyline game, which was very difficult to follow. I was like, I can guarantee I could probably play this and not understand any of the plot, what's going on. It's like a Hideo Kojima fever dream, pretty much. You have absolutely no idea what's going on. But from a gameplay perspective, it looked pretty solid. Like it looked absolutely great. And for a hack and slash game to look that visually good as well, across the board.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what people are saying. Chat. Danka saying 8 out of 10. Gozzo, 8 out of 10. iQuail, 8.5. Dragon, sticking with an 8. Has to work at some point, says Dragon, hoping to get a thing. UK Gaming Network says, this is the best one since the first. 8.5. Ragebound is better, though, which was the more sort of one that came out at the end of July, which was more of a retro version of game. But that was great fun, I have to say. Side scroller, that was good. Tough, but good. Retro Jazar says a 7. Dave, what say you?
I'm going to try 8.5.
8.5. Okay. Simran?
I'm going to go with an 8, a strong 8.
Okay, going for a strong 8. Flame saying a 7. Girl saying an 8. Okay. Last chance, folks. This is Ninja Gaiden 4, which came out today on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and is available on Game Pass. And as I mentioned, if you want to see what it's like, I'll be playing it tomorrow at 8:30 on Twitch and TikTok. If there's any other scores, I can tell you this got an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
It's a very solid 8. So Simran, again, well done, my friend, as your third one this evening.
I'm doing better than this.
Yeah. See, year on year, getting better. When you get another one, you get a 4, means next year you've got to get 5 at least. So there you go. Yeah, pushing it. There's all the links for Format. Go get your tickets. Dragon's like, yay, streak is broken. Well done, Dragon, for getting your first one. Well done for getting that right. Let's see who else got it right. Guild, well done. You got it right there. Gozzo as well, and Danker, obviously, they've got the last 2 right, but that now puts them at 5 right, I believe. 5 out of 7. Right, so that's not bad going at all tonight. So well done to all of you. And our final game. This game has been in development hell since it's not even come out the wrapper. Also came out today. We have talked about this on the top 50 games to look out for the last couple of years. And this year was the first year that we didn't bother to mention it because we didn't think it was ever going to come out. But
lo and behold,
a new company took over the process, a bit like what would happen with Dead Island 2. New company came in, finally got the game out there. This is the guys from the Chinese room that made the very excellent and was in my top 5 last year of Still Wakes the Deep. They have taken this. Have they turned this into the RPG that everybody wanted, or has it become something else? If you want to find out more, you can watch my stream Monday next week when I play this on TikTok and Twitch at 8:30. But until then, let's see how it fared. And here is the trailer for Vampire the Masquerades Bloodlines 2. Because let's face it, we've been waiting a bloody long time for this sequel.
So weary is the wanderer that treads upon the fertile soil.
Your reputation is legend.
The city flowered in fire, and in fire she will end.
Don't listen.
Shut up!
Now, this is something. Fire, can you... Oh, guess I found my body.
Detective, is there something you need?
How's the case? Hot leads, cold bodies, reheated plots.
Oh my, you... I think I know what you are.
They say trouble comes in pairs, detective. Trouble comes in pairs.
You are not the only one who has had strange dreams. I see a garden, and I have met someone.
But that would mean...
Who is he?
It brought you here, my fire. My fire.
There you go. It's finally out. Can we actually believe it, or is it still a fever dream? Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one, because this is not quite the sequel that people are thinking it's going to be, but it is technically is a sequel in that respect, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is still based on the the classic tabletop RPG, the whole World of Darkness universe. But it's not really turned into like the RPG I think people were hoping for. It's because it was in development hell with Hardsuit Labs for quite a number of years. Then it got taken off. Then to Chinese room. Kind of, I guess, cobbled together what they could over the last couple of years. So it seems like it's a bit more of an action adventure title, really. I think there's meant to be like some points where you can make choices, but it doesn't sound like they really have much impact overall to how the story flows or how it will end. So it's probably not quite what some people were looking for. Some people really want that deep vampire RPG. I think you're probably gonna have to go back to the older game if you want to, proper RPG stuff to play. This one though, you're playing as an elder vampire called Fire, who's been asleep for 100 years, wakes up in modern day Seattle, but wakes up with this voice in her head, or his head, depends on how you pick your character. But they've got the voice in their head that wasn't there before. They went to sleep, and they've got to try and work out where this voice has come from, why it's stuck in their head, and all while sort of navigating the current modern day events that are happening in Seattle with the various vampire factions. I think there's meant to be some event that's caused some friction with those, and you need to sort of navigate the each of those. You can align yourself with one over the others, and take some of their skills to use in the combat to improve your character. And there's going to be some bits as well where you are sort of playing as the voice in the head. Looks like there's sort of flashback sequences to who this character was and what it was they were doing, and that hopefully explain how they ended up being part of you. Graphic wise, it looks okay. Doesn't look like it's anything particularly special. No, it just looks like a very sort of average game. Smallish open world, not a huge one, but looks like it's sort of fairly dense to what you got to do. But it is still kind of keeping some of the classic sort of vampire masquerade mechanics in there. You can't just go and feed on a human in the middle of the streets. You've got to try and keep the masquerade illusion in place. You need to sort of tempt them into an alley so no one can see you feed upon them. Careful when you use your powers and stuff like that. So it's kept some things in, but it isn't that deep RPG that everyone's hoping for. I think if you go in with lowered expectations, expecting an action adventure title instead, then you can probably get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I think. See, I'm not massive on my RPGs, but I'm looking forward to playing this because I think, one, I've got faith in the Chinese room, and two, it is a bit more action centric, this one. So I'm kind of like, I will probably like this more. And I've seen lots of people play the original one. I was like, yeah, that looks all right, but not really my thing. Whereas this looks a bit more. So we'll see how this goes.
So
we'll see. Simran, your thoughts to this one?
I love my RPGs. So for me, I've played the previous ones, and I'm just happy to have another one. It's been in development hell for a very, very long time. I didn't think it was ever coming. So especially when I heard the Chinese room, which for me, I actually know them not from Still Waits the Deep, but for me, it's Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. That's what I know.
Oh, yeah.
And they're a British company, by the way, based up in Yorkshire way. I like to just point that out. But they've gone for a Dishonored approach on it. It very much reminds me of a Vampire's Dishonored. That's kind of the vibe. I love the Dishonored games.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going into this with the mentality of, if they manage to nail that sort of stealthy choice consequence, do you decide to go murder villainy with it, or do you try and go a very pacifist, trying to avoid harm as much as possible? I think it could work if they try and take it a Dishonored route. Obviously, I'm a bit sad it's no longer an RPG, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I want to see what's brought to it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Some people have already been playing it. Brian says his partner's been downstairs playing this now. Danke says, I looked at my predicted score from last year's list, because yes, this featured on last year's list. It didn't feature on this year's list. We'd mentioned it 2 years previous because it kept getting delayed. Put it down for a 7, so I'll stick with a 7. Gozzo's saying a 6.5. Brian saying 6.5. Dragon saying a 7. Kindred says missing a lot of the original main clans, and they could never do a proper VTM RPG. People want that. Go play the tabletop, which is fair enough. Dragon 7. Retro Giselle 7. iQual 8. Playing 7. Simran, I'll start with you. This is our last game of the night. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go with a strong 7.
Going for a strong 7. Dave?
I was thinking 7 as well.
7 as well. Okay. Last chance, folks. This is Vampire the Masquerades Bloodlines 2, which came out today on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And if there are no more scores in chat and you want to see more of it, you can watch it on Monday, as I said, because it will be on the stream on Monday. My last official full game stream before Format. There you go. I can tell you that this may not be to everyone's liking, but it's certainly got a strong 7 out of 10. So there you go. So it's good. It's not as great as it possibly could be, but considering it went through development hell and they've managed to patch it together, I think you're still looking at a decent game. So we'll see how we go. I'll give my thoughts on it on Monday. So there you go. Before we wrap up the show, let's do our last news story of the night. Well done to Flame as well for getting that right. Well done to Retro Jazar. Well to Dragon. Obviously, Danker, sticking by his list from last year, gets that as right. So 4 of you got it right. Well done to all of you. Simran got it right. So all the format links are there. Get your tickets now, people. You do not want to miss out. Do it. Do it now. And Dave, your second one of the night, how would you like your shout out?
You can jump up from behind a chair, mate.
Sweet. Well, Simran's 50% tonight. There you go. Cracking score. Well done.
Not too
Andy
bad.
Coley posted on Insta saying, "Can you beat my score? You've officially beaten Andy's score when he was on the show back in the start of September. So you've done well."
What was Andy's score again?
1.
Oh, Andy, I'm going to throw some shade at you, mate.
Yeah, he got 1, bless him. He got 1. He got it right in the last one as well, so he's quite happy about that. But there you go. Anyway, let's do this. Are you ready, Dave?
Go for it, mate.
Dave! There you go. And don't forget, chat, you can do !Dave in chat. Show appreciation. Danker, you got 6 out of 8 tonight. Well done. You are leading champion for tonight. I think Gozzo got 5 out of 8. And there's a number of you that got 2 or 3. She's done very, very well. Well done. And obviously, Simran getting 4 out of 8 there. Our final news story before we wrap up the show is an interesting one because obviously a big piece of kit came out last week, which was the Asus ROG Ally X, the handheld /PC /Xbox console. Obviously, there's the 2. There's the ROG Ally, but then there's the ROG Ally X. And what's interesting is Xbox bosses basically turned around and said, don't blame us for the fact it costs an absolute fortune because we didn't get a say in the price. So there's been a little bit of a thing here where despite it getting rave reviews, because it has got rave reviews, you check out the reviews, it's been reviewed very, very well. And the fact that actually it's selling well in its first week so far, and it had a good launch. Xbox bosses, including Sarah Bond, Xbox president, basically said that they had no say in what the price was because it consists of more Asus technology than anything else. And this is what they call the elephant in the room, because for some people, especially over in America, to get the main one, it's nearly about £1,000. It's about £800 over here, which is pricey when we said you consider that you could get for just under 400 quid a Switch 2, or you could get a Steam Deck for around about 200, 250 quid. But the reviews are saying this is possibly one of the best technical handheld gaming consoles of its generation. That might speak for itself. So the question is, do we think that it's obviously a sticking point, because I feel like this is almost detracting in a way for the fact that it's got such rave reviews. It feels a bit weird that Microsoft is kind of throwing a bit of shade, because it's almost like, well, look, it's doing well. Why would you bring this up? Or do you think because of all the shit that they've had recently, they've had more shit and they've gone, all right, you can't throw this at us. We have nothing to do with the pricing structure. That's all down to Asus.
Well, I mean, it is Asus's product, really. It's just got the Xbox brand into it. And so, I mean, once Asus sell it, that's it. They don't recoup any more money for anything else after that. Whereas like Microsoft and Sony, when they make a console and they have their own storefront, they can sell the consoles at a bit of a loss. And they make money on the cuts they get from the games that then get sold. But Asus don't have that. They've got to sell it for a price that's going to make back what it costs them to build the thing. And considering it's got like a pretty modern AMD processor in there, I think the Z2 Extreme processor in there, in the top end one at least anyway. And shit tons of RAM in there, decent screen on there. All the components it's got in there. We know components haven't been cheap for quite a number of years now.
Yeah.
But since the pandemic, so probably all the components cost a lot. Plus the PC handheld market whilst this thing is selling well, and you could say it's probably sold out in a lot of markets, it's still a niche market. It's not going to hit, millions upon millions of units sold. So unfortunately, I think they are going to have to mark it up to make their money back on it. So say it's just got Microsoft's do all the Xbox branding on there. But even though Xbox branding, it is it's a handheld PC with Windows 11 at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Slightly customized interface.
Yeah. Dank says, although to be fair, 800 quid isn't too bad. It's cheaper to other Z2 Extreme based chips. You can still run Linux on it despite its Xbox branding. Dan says it is a weird thing to do though. License them with the name and then moan about it. In disguise, it's a 2025 Rogue Ally revision. Xbox just attached the name into it. But as Dave said, it has sold out in many stockists around the world. So it has done good. I know that Jason Bradbury was doing his show on Sunday and he said he couldn't get one for love or money. They got one. I don't think they even managed to get one to do for the Gadget Show podcast. Couldn't even get one. So that's how demand it is. Simran, are you intrigued by this? Or the fact that they did shat on themselves in a way? It's just kind of saying, well, look, this is doing well, but don't moan at us about it.
I mean, to me, it just sounds a bit bitter, really, to be honest. You're going to see this as a trend, as we've seen with the rise of the Steam Deck, a new Nintendo Switch 2. More people are craving handheld console experiences now because people are getting older. They want to take games on the move with them because they're having more kids and they can't necessarily afford to spend more time playing games at home. So they're looking for ways to outlet their game time when on the move, whether that's through commuting to work, their lunch breaks or wherever. So you're going to see a rise in handheld consoles. Yeah. And I think a mini PC handheld is a thing of genius already. And I think at the end of the day, as Dave highlighted, Asus are a hardware manufacturer company. They make their own internal components. They've got to make a profit on it. It's not like Sony where they can make their own IP studio stuff, where they can release their own games and make profit off of it. At the end of the day, their bang for their buck is the hardware that they're selling fundamentally. So, and I'm a firm believer anyone can charge whatever they want. Like, you don't have to agree with the price and you don't have to want to pay that price for something. But if a company's created a product, that company can charge whatever it ultimately wants for that product at the end of the day. So, frankly, if someone's complaining about the price, I would just say, well, guess what? You don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And I think if Xbox don't like that, then, well, it's Asus's product.
Yeah. I think they've done a cracking job with it. I've seen, watching all the reviews and everything, everyone's saying it's a phenomenal piece of kit. Still doesn't mean I want to buy one. I've got no need for it.
A bit too pricey for me, that one.
But if you didn't have access to an Xbox or a Steam Deck, here's your next best option, and you certainly won't be let down, clearly. But there you go. Folks, that is it. That is our show for this week. So, firstly, we want to say a massive thank you to Simran, our guest tonight. And also, Dank has just said, can agree, Simran. I use my Og Alley on the bus to work each day. The Z1 Extreme is still not bad, and they're about 300 quid mark. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. Thank you to Simran. Do get your tickets because Format kicks off Wednesday next week with the Industry Day Industry Party, Thursday for the main event, and Friday for the after party. So there are tickets for all 3 nights, but not the daytime Industry Party because that has sold out, and they are going to sell out pretty damn quick. So click that link either on the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat. Get your tickets now. Simran, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Greatly appreciate it, mate.
Thank you, Megs, and thank you, Dave, for having me as all. And I look forward to coming back next year with a piano, a stronger Yorkshire accent, and to see that Dave is actually one of the vampires from the game because he doesn't age every single year. He does not age.
He does not age, does he? Not at all.
Good moisturiser.
Yeah. That's what we need, a sponsor for this show. It'd be a moisturiser, not a gaming company, a moisturiser.
I still just have the theory, like from Family Guy, where all the bald guys get in a lift somewhere, they sniff each other's youth and the baldness, and that's how they stay young.
Yeah.
The secret says.
There you go. Will the piano be getting its own stream at some point? It might even be our special guest for the Christmas show. Who knows?
Do you know what, Paul? We will do a special one day where we meet up in a location and we will play piano together. And I will do it with a Yorkshire accent. I'll just go, it's in the tin, isn't it? And it's like, no, it isn't in tin. It is in the tin. Look, it's in the tin, isn't it? There you go.
Coming to Tuesday Night Gaming Chat next year or in the near future. There you go. Thank you as always to my wonderful co-host, Dave. Lovely to have you back, mate. Great to have you here. Thank you to everyone who's been watching over on YouTube and on Twitch. Love to have you here. Thank you so much. Next week's show, we will be talking about the new Jurassic World Evolution game, which also came out today. Literally, reviews landed as we were writing the show, so hence why that will get in next week's show. Amongst a ton of other games, and our guest who was in the chat earlier is the wonderful Fleabag, making his debut from Fleabag Arcade. He will be on the show as next week's guest. So thank you to all the mods, as always, and thank you to everyone else who's been here and supported the show. Don't forget, I am on at 8:30 tomorrow on TikTok and Twitch playing Ninja Gaiden 4. We'll give you my thoughts about that. Can't wait for the events and to see everyone. If you are going to Format, come and see us. We've got the timeless stand there. We are in the camp room. Simran said, I say we will have Mario Kart to play, Little Nightmares free. You can play that. We'll have some Just Dance 2026, which literally come out last week. You can play that as well. And a number of other games to come on the stand, and you can find out more, as well as watching some amazing acts and trying out some amazing games in the two warehouses. Let's see who we can raid over on Twitch, YouTube. I'm going to say good night to you, wonderful people. But let's go raid. I think we're going to go raid. Do you know what? I'm going to go for an easy one. I'm going to go raid that someone who's going to Format, and I think it's her first ever Format. We're going to go raid Tiff, Cheeky Tiffers, or Cheeky Toffers as I call her, because I know that annoys her. So she's playing some of the Fortnite Halloween stuff, and she's dressed up for Halloween. So let's go raid Tiff. And everyone who's going to Format can go say hello. Iquel's going to be there. See you there. I've got your baseball cap ready for you as well, Iquel. And all that leaves for me to say is, wherever you are in the world, folks, have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening. Thanks so much for watching the show, and we shall see you very, very soon. Take care.
See you, everyone.
Good night.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.